Hi there, my name is Kobe Kingsford, and this is not a planned video, but, that is also the reason for, the bad camera quality, the bad lighting. Also, there's a mirror behind me, so if you see anything spooky in the mirror, or in the window in the mirror, or in the mirror in general, if you see that I'm moving, and my reflection is not, or my reflection is moving, and I'm not, then that fits this video. So I'm going to use this video topic as an excuse for the not so good lighting and bad camera quality to make it more spooky. Not a very planned video, very spontaneous, but I thought I would make it because earlier today I made some Instagram posts on Instagram on my story, and people commented that they really liked the topics and they found them very interesting, and they wanted to know my answers, and I thought that it would just be easier to make a YouTube video answering rather than, I don't know, just post it to my story. I could also do that, but in case anyone on YouTube finds it interesting, then yeah. So just a warning, this is gonna be about like death and some existential stuff. I don't want to send anyone right down a spiral and have a full-blown existential crisis. So if you think that may happen, then I don't know if watching this video is the best idea. If you're also spooked out by death and stuff, and aliens and all that kind of stuff, then now you know that that's what I'm going to be talking about. But basically what I thought is read you the questions, and then I can also tell you what people answered. Maybe I'll read some answers. I haven't really prepared any from other people because I also put this little box right here that's like, why did you answer what you did? I haven't prepared any answers for that, but perhaps I'll read some. Yeah. So I'm gonna read the first question, which was, does death as a concept, not your own death, scare you? 36% said yes, 64% said no. So 1,064 people said yes, 1,089 people voted for no. Some answers. Because not being alive anymore scares me so much, and I guess there's so much I still want in life. And then someone said, I don't want people to die without me. That's actually a girl in my class. Shout out to you. Then Jake said, it's just so final, and like, bam, it's over. 1 second this body had a personality, and then bam. So yeah, it's scary because it can happen at any moment doing anything, and it's sad. So those are some answers. I'll give my personal answers as well. I'm not saying that this is right. The right answer, this is just my opinion, and if you don't agree with my opinion, that's completely fine. Personally, I don't find death scary at all as a concept because it's a natural part of life. And even if you were to die, I don't believe that you would notice that you die. So with life suddenly being over and stuff, I'm not scared of that because, I don't want, well, now that's more of my own death. Perhaps I can answer that as well. But death as a concept doesn't scare me. I'm scared that people around me will die because I don't want to lose them. But with the whole, bam, it's over thing, it's like, if it happens and bam, it's over, I won't be aware that bam, it's over and that I won't be able to live anymore because I think that I'll just be gone. But I come back to what I think happens after death later. Next question, does life as a human scare you? 65% said yes, 35% said no. So 1,869 people voted for yes, 985 voted for no. Some answers. Life as a human scares me because I can disappoint someone I love. Other humans tend to be shit. We're forced into the society where we go to school for years and then work until we die. It scares me because it's a long time and I'm scared I'm gonna dive into depression again. Those are very valid answers. My answer for that is yes, life as a human does scare me, just because humans are really weird, and which I will also come back to later, but humans are very sort of intelligent, and it's not like, just follow your instincts and you'll eat food and you'll find shelter and you'll have kids and then you're done, then you're good, and procreate and stuff like that. Yeah, that's have kids. Um, life as a human, we always want more than that, and that's sort of why it scares me, because it's not very, like, there's not really an answer, like, a specific meaning to our lives. We always want more. So life as a human does definitely scare me, because it's like, this, like, what do I do with this life? I don't know. It's just terrifying, because it's so, I don't know what's gonna happen, you know? Because I don't want to have kids. I don't want to procreate. I don't want to, like, well, I want shelter and stuff, but naturally, again, I want more than that. So it's just, we think too much, and that's scary. What scares you more, my own death or living forever? 29% said my own death, 71% said living forever. So 874 people said my own death, 2,114 said living forever. Now, I'm actually surprised that many more people answered living forever. I was expecting more people to say my own death. Some answers: living forever would mean existing forever in a world that you will eventually leave. Nope, because I can't know what's tomorrow. I can't answer that question. Both are equally terrifying. I don't want to watch everyone and everything around me die. So yeah, my answer to that is living forever definitely scares me more. My biggest fear, like my actual biggest fear in life, it's not gonna happen, but my biggest fear is being immortal. I just want to rest, to be honest. Sounds kind of depressing, but it's like, yeah. For example, the people who are, I can't remember what it's called, but the body is getting like freezed, and so that they won't rot, basically. And then, for example, if they're very sick and then they want to come back to life at a later time in many, many, many years, where they have a cure for that illness. And there's also like having people's minds be uploaded to computers and stuff like that, and that is terrifying. Like, what would you do inside of a computer? I find life to seem very meaningless, and time to go so slow, and I have, like, I get anxiety about, like, life seeming long right now. I can't imagine what it would be like if your, like, conscious was uploaded onto a computer. Like, that is terrifying. Next question. I'm more afraid of outer space or the depths of the ocean? I'm also surprised by this, actually. 31% said outer space. 69%, ooh, 69, said the ocean. Also, I added a picture of a little astronaut there, just flying in the middle of nowhere in space. So that's 906 votes for space, 2,047 votes for ocean. Also, these haven't been up for that many hours, so this might change later. Let's see. Supernova got to wipe us out in the blink of a second. Space Trump. Ocean is less explored, because I don't know what's in space. What if I love both, or lobe both? I'm guessing in space you can see your surroundings, and in the ocean it's just all darkness until something, and then I can't see the rest of the answer. Interesting. My answer, I don't know. I actually don't know. I mean, if I were to be at the, like, deep down in the ocean, I would drown, so it would be fine. So that, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be nice to drown down there, like, in the darkness, all alone, and feel water surround my body and feel my lungs and stuff. That wouldn't be a very nice way to go, I think. But I do think I'd be much more terrified of space. Because you'd be flying in nowhere. Like, at least as far as I know, you wouldn't see, like, planets everywhere. You'd see stars and stuff, but and you'd probably see planets far, far away, but maybe you wouldn't even be able to see or tell that they're planets. They'd just look like stars or just objects far away. Just floating in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of space like that, all alone. Just floating all alone in the darkness. That is terrifying. Yeah. Next question. Do you think sending messages into space in the hopes of an answer is dangerous / a bad idea? 32% said yes, 68% said no. So 899 votes for yes, 1,909 votes for no. Some answers. I think it would be interesting to try to communicate with an outside life force. Ziggy will get pissed off. That's my best mate. Maybe they don't understand us right and they mean that we are bad. It's a terrible idea because whoever is receiving these messages are probably more advanced. YOLO from Leo. Aliens, if they exist, probably know just as much as we do. Interesting. I really have an opinion on this. I think that I've been watching a lot of Minefield recently with Vsauce. I bought YouTube Red just to be able to watch those series, so if you haven't watched them, I highly advise you to. There are some like free episodes that you can watch without YouTube Red. But basically there was a video about this that came out yesterday, I think, or the day before that, where they said that the harm has already been done. Aliens, or whatever is out there, if there is something out there, has gotten our radio signals. Like from when TV and radio started, we have been sending radio waves into space. So I don't think it wouldn't do more harm now to send stuff into space because it's already out there. Yeah. Next question. Do you think other forms of intelligent life is out there in the universe right now? 92% said yes, 8% said no. 2,702 votes for yes, 247 votes for no. That's a difference. We can't be the only ones, can we? Because the mathematical probability we're the only ones in the universe just seems very small. The universe is infinite. It's a bit arrogant to assume that we're the only smart beings in an infinite universe. It would be crazy to not believe that something is out there. Because Ziggy, again, that's my best mate. So on this question, as previously stated, the universe is infinite. I do think that there's life out there. I definitely think there has been intelligent life, and that there will be in the future. Maybe there is intelligent life out there right now. I think there's life, but I think that intelligent life might be rarer than life, because it takes a few billion years. Biology and stuff is not my forte, but it takes a while for life, as in bacteria, to turn into intelligent life. So maybe there's life out there that hasn't yet turned into intelligent life. Maybe there is intelligent life out there right now as well. Because, yeah, the universe is infinite and it's terribly difficult for our human brains to wrap our heads around that fact. And still the concept of space-time, I can't wrap my head around it. So, yeah, maybe. It's a very difficult question. Do you think humanity will destroy itself eventually, as opposed to natural disaster? We have no control of it. This is interesting. 95% said yes, and only 5% said no. So 2,783 votes for yes, 146 votes for no. Global warming, war man itself, cis people, but we destroy everything. We destroy everything. I feel like this is iffy, but I definitely believe we have the power to. Also, pollution and crap. All the shit the great people do, I'm sure we won't live anymore in maximum 100 years. We are dumb. Because most of us are stupid. Nice. Yeah, as someone wrote, I definitely think we have the power to do so. We can't control if there is suddenly a comet that crashes into us, or the sun has a huge sunstorm that ruins our planet, or maybe there's a huge volcano eruption that like covers the whole world in English is not my native language, but covers it covers us, right? So that there's just sunlight can't get into Earth because the whole sky is just grey because of the volcano eruption, right? Does that make sense? And yeah, I don't know. But honestly, like, wouldn't surprise me if we did ruin Earth with war and pollution and all that kind of stuff, which is also something I think I'll get back to later. Yes, the next question. Honestly, do you think humans and human life is precious and valuable? 59% said yes, 41% said no. 1,605 votes for yes, 1,092 votes for no. We have one life and we should choose wisely how we live it. Interesting. Sort of, I believe that people are meant to do something before death that will affect people. Because we can do almost anything we want with it. We only get one shot. We are dumb again. The world was a perfect balanced place before us, and look at it now. You literally live to die, I think. Ooh, that's depressing. Because there's only one of each person. Now, I have my answer to this, which might come off as slightly depressing. So my original answer to this, as I wrote the question, was just no. Like, I don't think that human life is valuable. I mean, objectively, I don't think it's valuable. Subjectively, yes, I highly value my mom's life. But we're just very small creatures, and as I was going to say earlier, or that I was going to get back to with like pollution and ruining Earth with global warming, I'm not saying that it's a bad idea to. I definitely think that global warming is real. I definitely don't think it's a bad idea to stop global warming, but and stop pollution and stuff like that. But at the same time, my mind is sort of like, who cares? This is really bad. I'm not saying that this is the right way to think, because I really do want to care deeply, and I do care deeply about how, like, the other people's health and well-being. And I hope you know that. Like, it's not like if someone dies, I'm like, oh, whatever. Like, I really value people's health and well-being because I know how it feels to be human, and I know what pain feels like because we're able to feel pain, and to us subjectively that's a really, really big deal. But with Earth and humans and life, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. If we destroy Earth, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make a huge impact. It would make a huge impact on the animals. And yeah, Earth was a much better place before we came along, and with our like industrialization, industries. Yes, you get what I mean, with the industrial revolution and stuff like that. Things were much better before that for the animals and the rest of Earth. But if we were to ruin Earth, it wouldn't make a huge impact on the universe. I think that was something to be valuable, or maybe at least have an effect on things. It would have to be something huge, like a huge star or something like that, who has an effect on the planets around it, like with gravity, or black holes have a massive effect on everything. But then again, now that I'm thinking more of the question, and as I was thinking about it a bit earlier when I was reading through some of the answers and stuff, I thought to myself that what does it matter that something has a great effect on objects if there's nothing there to recognize that effect? Because personally, I don't, which I will also get back to later, I don't believe in a God or anything like that. I don't believe that there's something out there that if we ruin Earth, we'll be like, ah, shit. Like, ah, man. Ah, my intelligent life is so rare. Why did that happen? Now we lost a planet with intelligent life. Oh, shoot. Or if a star explodes, I don't think there will be anything out there that's like, wow, look at the effect it has on other planets. Oh my god, that's so cool. So, maybe what determines if something is valuable is something's ability to recognize that it's valuable. That it's all subjective. And I believe, unless there's like other intelligent life out there, or if there's some kind of higher power that I don't know about, I think that humans right now, we're quite good at recognizing things. So perhaps the essence of what meaning is what humans find valuable. And then again, then I put like humans in a very high, on a pedestal almost, which brings me back to, well, I don't really think that human life is that valuable. But then it's like, I don't know. It's a difficult question. I don't actually think that human life is valuable, but when I think about it more, maybe it actually is pretty valuable, at least to us, through the human brain. Like, existing through the human brain, it is valuable because it's, I mean, it's everything to us because we don't know anything else. It's all that we are. So in that regard, it's valuable. I haven't come to a conclusion on that, and I don't think I ever will. Next question: have you ever seen / touched / hugged a dead person? I have. I should I should read you or let you know the results first. 36% said yes. Ja? Jo. Sorry, that's my mom. Kan du vänta lite grann? Oh, det är bror min. I'm gonna say this is a very raw thing. Jag ser något där på mig. Okay. My brother is sick with what we think is either pneumonia or influenza, so I can edit that out, but I might not. We'll see. You'll see eventually. Also, my dog is in my room right now. Duffen. Hi. Anyway, 36% said yes, 64% said no, which surprised me because I thought that more people had had experiences with dead people. So that's 1,071 for yes, 1,852 votes for no. And then I asked how people felt about it or how they would feel about it. Hi! And people said, I wanted it for closure, but it was terrifying. Someone said cold and unsettling. Not fun. The idea freaks me out. The soul isn't connected anymore, so it's just bones and skin. And I touched my grandpa at his funeral. It's creepy to think that someone I talked to a few days ago can't talk. And then something else, but I can't see what that says. Still a dog. And then someone said sad. So, hello, doggo. I've had quite a few experiences with dead people. That sounds really weird. Not like that. You got that, right? But basically my first experience with a dead person was when I was 3 or 4. My great-grandma died. I can't really remember well. The only thing I remember was from hospital that she didn't remember who I was before she died, which made me really upset. But that's really all. And then she died, and she had like an open coffin thing for her funeral. And then I made a drawing for her, and my dad lifted me up and let me put the drawing into the coffin, and then I looked at her, and I was like, oh, there's a person there. So it didn't freak me out or anything. But then my grandpa died, who I didn't see. Obviously, I was around like his box, his coffin at his funeral, but I didn't see him. Then that was my great-grandpa. Then my grandma died, it's actually a year in 3 days as I'm filming this. She died the 7th of January last year. That was weird, because she didn't have an open coffin at a funeral, but before we buried her, right after she had died, actually, it was a few days after, they had kept her in this cool room so that she was like fine, or as fine as can be when she's dead. So she hadn't started to rot or anything like that. And if we wanted to see her at the hospital, in the basement of the hospital, or in the back of the hospital, we had this thing where like they put her out with an open coffin. Again, it wasn't a funeral, it was just like a saying goodbye thing with lots of like flowers and stuff like that, just to again say goodbye. And I was quite excited about that, which sounds weird, but I was like, alright, it's my grandma, I'm gonna say goodbye to my nan, like whatever. And then we got there and I started to feel really uncomfortable, which is weird because I don't really have an uncomfortable thing. Like, it's sad when people die, but I don't mind death like that, in that sense. but when they opened the door and I stepped into the room, it was like I was hit by a wall, and it wasn't of sadness or anything like that. Um, it just so it wasn't like I just like had a breakdown or anything like that. It wasn't of sadness. It felt like electricity. It was like when I stepped into that room and I saw my grandma Elizabeth from behind. Her hair was like down like that, and it didn't look like her because she always had like curled hair. And I saw that she was a bit redder than usual and stuff. And I just saw like the side of her face and the back of her head. But it was like I was hit with this wall of electricity and stuff, and I just felt like I should not, like I wasn't supposed to be there, that I shouldn't go in there. And the feeling was so strong that I just immediately had to step out. It wasn't because I was sad. I don't really believe in the afterlife or anything, but I had a really when I was little, I had a really close relationship with my grandma, and I used to believe in like spirits and stuff like that. So we used to always talk about that. So if there is an afterlife, then that was most definitely my grandma telling me, "Don't look at me," because she was a person who liked to pamper herself and always like, as I said, have her hair curled and wear makeup and stuff like that. And she didn't look like herself. So if there was a way for her to tell me, Kovu, I want you to look at me right now, I want you to remember me how I was, then I think that was my grandma being like, I see you, this is go. And yeah, so then I just stood outside, talked to the one of the guys who worked at the funeral, or with funeral stuff. Asked him a ton of questions about funerals and taking care of the dead and cremation and how long they can last without being cooled down, like how long it takes until they rot and stuff like that, which was really interesting, and he was really nice. And then my great grandma passed away in October. We went to the hospital. She was lying there, and this was really no. I'm going to talk about that in a different video, I think. But anyway, I got in there, said hi. Wasn't weird at all. She looked really sweet. I touched her and hugged her twice, and that was totally cool. It was a nice experience. I got to say goodbye to her, and that was no problem at all. So I'm still confused why the thing with my grandma was so uncomfortable, because I wasn't necessarily like, I was closer to my grandma when I was little, but in like as I grew older, I wasn't closer to my maternal great grandma than I was with my paternal grandma. So I don't know why I felt that much of a difference there, because as I said, I touched my great grandma, I hugged her twice, it was no problem. So I don't know why that was so different. Okay, a few things left, because this video is really long. Do you think something comes after death? 55% said no. No, 55 said yes. 45 said no. I'm actually surprised that more people said yes. So that's 1,551 for yes, 1,251 for no. Darkness. That's what I saw when I was dead for around 2 minutes. That's scary if you've been dead. Like clinically dead. I think that depending on how you spend your time on Earth, it may determine how it is after death. Interesting. I don't see how it could. Interesting. Maybe there's something. No, if you die, your brain cells stop working, so you would be gone. Honestly, limbo, I don't know about religion, but death cannot be final. Interesting answers. Personally, I think that once you're dead, your consciousness is gone. It's like before you're born. You don't feel anything. You're not aware that you're not alive because you're just not there. So I believe that you stop being conscious, and then your body rots, and it's sort of like passing out, if you've ever passed out before. Or it's like dreaming without the dreams. I've heard that it's like being like before surgery when you get like anesthetics and stuff. I've never experienced that, but I'm sure that's sort of the same thing, where suddenly you're just like, you're gone and you're not aware that you're gone. You just start and then you wake up after surgery and suddenly you're back. I just think it's like that, just without waking up. I think that we're just gone, like so many people before us. And then I actually tweeted about that earlier, and then someone said, so you're saying that there's no meaning to life? Which is absolutely not what I'm saying. And personally, I don't mind if you're of a religion or something like that, but personally, I don't think, I find it quite sad to think that the meaning of life is what happens to you after death. Just because I want the meaning of my life to be when I'm alive, because maybe there's not anything after death. And I mean, I think it's great that you found a meaning. As long as it's meaningful to you, it's great. But like, I don't know. But yeah, I definitely think there's a meaning to life, and I think that's just finding whatever is meaningful to you and living by that. Whatever's subjectively meaningful to you, because yeah, maybe you don't matter in the grand scheme of things, but that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy life. I think you have a choice to either enjoy your life and take advantage of the fact that you can feel things and you can exist and experience things, or you can choose not to. And I think that it's quite, I don't know, to be able to experience the universe. It seems like it's a rare experience. Maybe there's been life on any other planet out there, or there will be life. I don't know, but it seems like it's quite rare, and I'm here, so I might as well just deal with it. I don't know. Okay, a few questions left. Even if you're not necessarily religious, do you think there's a God or something out there? 53% said yes, 1,473 people that is, and 47% said no, 1,309 people. Personally, I just think it was something to keep the civilization going. We have a purpose. There's always a possibility. It's comforting to think there is, but I don't know. I can't bring myself to believe it. Even if there was a Big Bang, there had to be something before that to make that possible. That's interesting. Personally, I don't believe there's anything out there. If there is, then I'm happy to believe it if it like shows me. But personally, I just think that the universe keeps expanding forever. So the Big Bang, and then it started expanding, and then it shrank, and then the Big Bang again. And I don't know what started it, but I don't think as a human, my mind really has the capability to fathom that. So I just kind of accept that. I don't know. I would like to be religious because it seems as though they have sort of more meaning to life, religious people, because they think that, oh, I'm on this earth because someone purposefully put me here and they want me to do something. But when you believe that it's just random and it's just random circumstances and you're just here by chance because your forefathers decided to get saucy, then I mean, it's kind of more difficult to find that meaning, and you can get you can have existential crises and stuff. But now I'm just at that point where, like, yeah, I'm just here by chance, so I have to create that meaning for myself, and that's difficult sometimes, but whatever. Last question. Do you ever wish you were a less intelligent being and not able to reflect on existence this way? 59% said yes, 41% said no. So that's 570 votes for yes, 1,112 votes for no. The mind is dangerous. That's a really difficult question. They say ignorance is bliss for a reason, though. Brain thoughts are scary. Yes or no, mostly no, because it doesn't affect me badly. Sometimes, yeah, it's a gift, a lovely one. Trash your mind, it will trash you. Oh, that's sweet. I like that. Yeah, I often wish I was a less intelligent creature, because then I wouldn't have to deal with existential crises. And as I said earlier, like, yeah, it's really difficult sometimes to, like, think about these thoughts, especially when it's, like, sort of involuntarily, like, you're sitting there in class and then suddenly it's like, what is life? Like, everything's just made up by society, and I'm just here for what reason again? And then sometimes it's easier to think that if I'm here just by chance and there's no meaning to my life, then wouldn't it just be easier to not exist? But then again, is that conflict with subjective meaning as a human being? And even though I think that my parents and all of humanity doesn't actually matter, unless, like, the whole thing about what matters is what can be perceived as, like, meaningful and acknowledged and recognized by something, and that only intelligent life, like humans, can recognize that something is meaningful, and that planets, for example, can't recognize that, like, oh, I really like the sun because it keeps me keeps me around because of its gravity. Wait, where was I? Yeah, and even though I don't think that my parents or the rest of humanity is like important, I still don't want to hurt my parents because I know that life is important to them, and as long as it's important to them, like subjectively, then it's gonna be important to me because I have emotions and I don't want to hurt my parents. So, or anyone else for that matter. So, yeah, I do wish I were a less intelligent being because it can be quite painful, but at the same time, it's like. Actually, I don't know. I don't have a good answer to that. Yeah, I wish I was a less intelligent human being, or a less intelligent being in general. But I'm here. I can't really change that right now. It's kind of like, yeah, I was born, but I could also choose to have fun with it. So that's what we're trying to do. This video is insanely long. Maybe I'll cut it down. Maybe I'll make it into 2 parts, like with my New Year's video. I actually don't know. Or maybe I'll just upload the whole thing. Maybe I'll do that, I don't know, but I'm gonna go now anyway. So if you like this rambly video, thank you so much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, or a thumbs down if you didn't like it. That's also completely fine. This is so long, that's like, I haven't put in a video this long before, but that's like New Year's video. So yeah, I hope you're having a brilliant weekend. Stay safe and hydrated. I feel awesome sauce of foods. If you can hear snoring, that is my dog. Also, a reason for existence. Oh, look at that. Look at that thing. Like, that's the reason why I'm alive. Like, I'm glad I'm an intelligent being, because then I can appreciate that, because that makes me really happy. I love my dog so much. But yeah, have a great weekend. Thank you for watching. Comment your opinions. I'd love to hear. And I'll see you. Okay. Goodbye. Take care. Bye. Bye.